How to play Contig. This specific game board does have the directions at the bottom, but I know sometimes it helps to have an example to kind of go off of, and not all game boards have the directions at the bottom. In my example here, I'm just going to pretend there's two people playing versus each other. Um, Direction number one says to roll 3 dice and mark the sum of the 3 dice as the starter square. Alright, so take 3 dice, find the sum, so we're going to add them up. 6 plus 2 plus 1 equals 9. So 9 is our starter square. Alright. Step 2, it says that each player rolls 3 dice and uses operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and all 3 dice numbers to form a new number on the Contig board. And you'll put an X on the number that you come up with. If there's two people playing, we have to decide who's going first. So let's pretend player 1 rolls the dice, they roll a 6. Player 2 rolls the dice, they roll a 1. Okay, player 1 can decide if they want to go first or second, and let's say they want to go first. So player 1 is up. They must take all 3 dice, roll all 3 dice, and now we have to use them. Now, the goal here is you score 1 point for each marked square your new number touches. And we'll play a total of 8 rounds, and the person with the most points at the end of the game wins. So my objective here is to try to get the number 1, 2, 10, 18, or 17, since those are touching 9. If I wanted to, there's 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, and then 2 divided by 2 equals 1. So I'd put my mark here. And since I'm touching one other square, player 1, you can keep score off to the side, player 1 just scored 1 point. Since it's 8 rounds, we want to make sure that everyone gets a fair number of turns. So player 1 has taken 1 turn. So we know it's player 2's turn next. So they'll take the 3 dice, roll all 3, and all 3 have to be used. Okay. If they were to get to score 17, that would be 1 point. If they were to score 18, that would be 1 point because they are touching in the diagonal corner here. However, if you get a 10, that would be worth 2 points, 2 points because it's touching 9 and 1. And the same goes for 2 since it's touching 1, and then the corner here is touching 9. A 2 would be 2 points as well. Okay. So with these 3 dice, again, we have to use them all. We could say 5 minus 5 equals 0, and then 0 plus 2 equals 2. So our new number is 2, and since it's touching 2 squares, player 2 would get 2 points. Okay, and then player 2 has taken their turn, so now we're going back to player 1. A couple of reminders, all 3 dice have to be used, so you can't just ignore a dice. You can use kind of any combination of operations, so you can add and subtract, or you can multiply and add. That's up to you. That's where the fun of it comes in, and being able to manipulate the numbers. So let's pretend to go one more round here. So it's back to player 1. Okay, so 5, 5, and 1. The best score here would be a 10 because it's touching 3 squares. So I want to say 5 plus 5 is 10. And then 10 times 1 equals 10. So I'm going to put my mark down. And since it's touching 3 squares, player 1 will get 1, 2, 3 points. And player 1 has taken 2 turns. So right now it's not fair because player 2 would need to get a turn to make it an equal amount for each person. Okay, so that's the gist of it. Remember, you play 8 total rounds. When you're making marks, it doesn't matter if player 1 made the mark or player 2 made the mark. Doesn't matter if it's an X. If you touch an X, it counts as a point. Good luck. Have fun.